Hi, this is Angela McFarlane and you're stamping with AMAC. This is my wedding card that I've created. It's a little bit different. I introduced a little bit of basic grey into it, but I think it's ornate enough to be used as a wedding card. So I hope you like it. Once again, the pieces that I used were out of the Quiet Meadow dies. So it was this leaf, this flower, and this flower. And this was the little tag that I used for the greeting for the love. And then for the border, I used the Ornate Layers dies. And there's quite a connection of layering dies there, and this was the biggest one that was there. So you're going to love me because you'll have a whole heap of little bits and pieces to poke out. I didn't do those for you, just in case you're wondering. So once again, we have a white base. Don't forget to start by poking out all the bits and pieces out of all of your dies if there's some still in there. And then on this layer, I actually stamped the dots that are in the Quiet Meadow stamp set. So I used basic grey. And it is a little bit dark, especially if you've got a new juicy ink pad. So gently ink it up, like just touch your ink pad, stamp off. You can even stamp off twice if you want to. And then just change the direction of your stamping. And make sure that you go off the page as well, so it doesn't look like it's all in a row. Just needs to look random. So make sure you have a scrap bit of paper that you can just stamp off onto, and that just creates a nice little background. It's quite subtle, but it is effective. So then what I did after that, because I actually popped this whole layer up on dimensionals, I didn't add dimensionals to my flowers. Well, actually I did, but I'll go into that in a moment. So I wanted to arrange my die cuts on there first. The first one I placed on there was this one in the center, and for this one, once again, with your glue, less is more. So I just put a tiny amount on the stem. What I wanted to do on the head of the flower, I actually wanted to pop that up. So I just pop a few mini dimensionals on that just to give it a little bit of extra lift as well. And I'll peel those off before I glue the whole thing down. Might help if I actually do peel it off. Oh, it has come off. Okay, so then I'll just sort of place that one in the center. Stick that down. I kind of like having little bits and pieces poking up as well, but that's entirely up to you if you want to do that or not. And then the second one that I placed on there was this one. So I sort of wanted that overlapping a little bit, and I'll just pop a little bit of glue. I think I did actually pop a mini dimensional in that as well, but I think it was a little bit wide, so I actually just cut a little bit off the side, so I didn't have the bits of dimensional poking out. Just attached a little bit there, and I'll peel that off. Be careful of the stem, it is quite thin and delicate, so you want to be a little bit gentle with it. And then just add a little bit of the liquid glue down the bottom, and then you can position that. You don't want to cover up these little bits and pieces. So I've got that one attached, and then last attach this one, and I think I just used glue on this one. Once again, the smallest amount. I'm not even going up to the top, so I'm happy to have that loose. A little bit there. Remember to keep the lid on your liquid glue as well, because it does dry out quite quickly, and if it creates that little plug, your glue won't come out. So then I'll just position that where I want it to go, and I've got all of that attached. So then I have pre-tied a little ribbon for you. I did actually run out of this colour ribbon on some of them, so I've got a different shade of grey on mine. And then if you're able to slide that under there, go ahead, do so by all means. Otherwise, I just want to tie a little knot, but we'll attach the greeting first. You've got a pretty big hole there. What I'm going to do is, while it's not around the bow, I'm going to start my knots, because it's going to be a lot easier to do this. So I haven't pulled it super tight because I want to be able to get my bow in through there first. Okay, and I've got it around that. Then I can pull it a little bit tighter. Then you can snip these little bits off, and you can fray the ends a little bit if you want to. It's up to you what you want to do. You can just unravel them a little bit if you want to. So I'm happy with that. And then the best way to attach your ribbons is with glue dots. So I get my little glue dots out, and I will just stick my bow on top of my glue dot, lift that up, and then I will attach that there. And if you want to pop your little greeting up as well, you can actually add a little dimensional under there, and that can give it a little bit of lift for you, and then you can attach it to where you want it to go. Might just tuck that under there a little bit. And there we have that. And then what have I done with my little rhinestones? So I want to attach a few rhinestones to this as well. Once again, I should be using my take your pick tool, but I'm fortunate to have nails. So I'll just pop them there. And rule of thumb is to use uneven number of embellishments and things like that as well. And then this whole layer I will attach with, you could use your strips that you have got for your shaker cards. They're pretty handy for this sort of stuff. Or you can pop a few dimensionals on here as well to give it a little bit of lift, because the whole card is going to be lifted up. So I hope you enjoying these cards. I just love these two bundles. They're so pretty. I love the die cuts especially as well. So then this will get positioned. There is a little bit more space around the top than there is on the sides. That's just because, oh, I can see that I didn't poke one bit out. Just get him out of there. Might be a few stuck under there. Yep, I can see some more. Thought I had them all, but they're pretty tricky. So you do just want to check that you've got all of them poked out of your holes, because you'll have more of effect. Then I've attached that to my card. But we're not finished yet, because this flower has this little extra piece in the center there. And the easiest way to attach that is if I just put a tiny bit of glue on that part, and then I'm not handling this with the glue on top. I'll just sit that on there, and it gives that flower a little bit of extra dimension as well. Then you can get your Wink of Stella, and if you want to, you can just add a little bit of extra sparkle to a few bits and pieces. If you want to add a little bit of extra bling, you can have a play with your Wink of Stella, also known as your Wink of Sparkle. So there you have it. There is my wedding card, and then inside you can stamp any greeting that you have that's appropriate for wedding, or it can even be an engagement card or an anniversary card, or you can just give it to a really good friend that you really like. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Happy stamping, and stay tuned for another one soon.